to Malam Falcamuela, but Nemo just let me know, quickly. So we come well, thank you for the Ambers. Why you wait? While a choke name boy got in Donanguno, my Watiningula require the messenger. Even though the renewing on boy, man don't and then watch a ningulo, I'm your jacket, all right, why don't I'll control, Cavenyamin drong, Okay, ngamera. Menkumara sila wade ngaji kiko eko kula ka kusabu, ninku dolo manke, attention ota focus la no mulka mini alonko wala betilimaliani intajinte yalla mulla banko kan. Gambia criminal mantambi mulla mini alonko wala ka uniform odu mulla banko kan silang. Wala mulde mini alonko ka tilimaliani intajinte ya tilingamiano la yamera ko itolle la banko di yabe mul nyato. But my focus has always been on the killing of the cops, and that's where I still want to throw my parameters on. Anything outside of that, I wouldn't really want to be, distracted with any of those. But focusing on the matter at hand, today we want to just look at not just arresting Hussein Obojang for 1.5 years, but also his sister, who has been in detention with him since then. Now, what do we want to actually look at when it comes to his sister's detention conditions? Now, and also we would have to compare to all the issues that are unfolding, with the Gambia police force. The good thing is that Gambians have come to realize that these are not trusted people. In the midst of these folks in uniform, folks who are criminally, liable for a lot of things. And even in this case, as we proceed, you can tell that the police are not innocent. Because innocent people don't just lie against ordinary citizens out of nothing, and you want to impose everything humanly possible on them. Now, on the 13th of September 2023 was when Hussein Obojang and his sister were arrested. The state produced 13 witnesses. Among these witnesses was a driver. Now, the reason why they arrested the sister is that the sister was aware, according to them, aware of the act that the dude did and decided to help him to safety, which is a crime in the Gambia. Now, if that is a crime, according to the police, because the sister was aware that this boy actually killed the cops and helped him to run to safety, let's come to analyze it this way. Hussein Obojang's sister is in jail for 1.5 years because, according to the police, she knew that the brother did the killing and she helped him to drive, help him to get to safety somewhere in Casamas or wherever. Now, let's put it into perspective. Let's start with the driver who was the state witness. According to this driver, he was hired by Ami Bojang to drive her to Brufut to pick Hussein Obojang and then drive them to Brikama. On arrival in Brikama, according to him, they spoke in Jola all the way until they got to Brikama, or until they got to the point of talking about the killing of the cops, was when they spoke in the language he understood. Even the dumbest person in our society will not speak in a language that the driver does not understand until you got to the point of talking about killing people, which would be the most sensitive matter that you will not want this driver to know. Then you speak in the language that the driver understood. But that is not the point I'm driving at here. Now that the driver already understood what they are talking about and he heard them talk about the killing of the cops, that would have just happened, according to him, that same night, which was a lie because Hussein only left the Gambia the next day for this, white person issues. But his lies now actually implicated him in a sense. If the sister could be in jail, this driver couldn't be out of jail because this driver, having had this person told the sister that he killed the cops and a police officer told him not to really go into the garage or not to join public transport or try to avoid police checkpoints. and still in this taxi. And imagine Brikama Garage and Brikama Police Station. This taxi driver did not turn around and take these people into the police station and say, Butum, namo falal la mutadi, ya folen tulo ya moy. Now, because they said it and the driver heard it, then the driver now knows what was happening. Why did this driver still, in his lies, drive these people to, the border in Dar es Salaam? Which road did he take to get to Dar es Salaam? But having known that this is the person who killed the cops, and then you heard them say it, you still drive them to safety. What is the difference between the sister and the driver? And this is the driver that the state brought in with all their lies and fabrication as their witness. If the driver already knew that this person said to the sister in the language I understood that he killed the cops, and I still drove him all the way to the border to drive him to safety, and I still come out to actually testify that in court, how did the driver actually know that this person killed the cop? Because he had said it and the driver heard it, and the driver still drive him to safety. Now, you tell me the sister is complicit because he helped in driving Ami to safety, in Usainu to safety. What then befalls the driver? Kula mantaku. Nalia madalka diamu nyama tolle, walani nyama tolle benyola. Atolle nyama tabarantolwe kendearin. The second part of it is we are done with the driver. This driver who actually said he drove them to safety, which was a complete fabrication and a lie manipulated by the state. Now, how can Ami be in jail and this driver is free, walking freely, who actually knew that this person killed the cops and still drove them to the border? Think about it. Now, the second part is the watchman. The watchman who said he was sitting on a fence line and all of a sudden somebody was running and then he chased after this person. And then according to Ibuso, the watchman wrestled down this gunman, but could not tell if he was wearing a kaftan, a black or a white shirt, but could see a gun thrown at him. Now, this watchman picked this gun and hid it somewhere. Picked the gun and called his boss, and his boss asked him to hide it somewhere and let him not tell anybody. And the boss will arrange for the gun to be picked up. What is your boss' responsibility in this case? Why does your boss feel the need to tell you not to tell anybody about the gun? And then why did you people hide the gun for the police to just come out to the court and say, we could not conduct any DNA on this gun simply because it was exposed to sunlight and rain for almost 10 days. Now, the person who did the concealment of this primary evidence is actually a state witness who came to court and said, I was the person who hid this gun, and I hid the gun because my boss told me to hide it. And then because I, actually put the gun somewhere where nobody could see it, it was exposed to sunlight and rain for 10 days, and that is why it could not be subjected to DNA. Is this person not criminally liable for concealment of evidence? But this is the person the state said is their witness. Efanial jele. Ebuka tembeno. So I need to go Ami Bojan, wale usini Bojan samba border to foya atina, that person is criminally liable and is in jail for like, let's say 1.5 years. The person who hid the gun deliberately for 10 days, and police will go after 10 days later only access to that weapon. But this person picked this weapon on the day of the incident, decided to conceal it and, keep quiet on it. What is the business of this, watchman and his boss in terms of hiding this gun? Isn't that questionable? Isn't that a question that the government of the Gambia should answer? Why didn't they arrest this watchman and his boss who deliberately hide this gun for 10 days before they actually informed the police? What was the reason for hiding it? So you can always see that the police have tried in every possible way to conceal evidence and to erase every traceable evidence in their criminal liability in this case, because this was a cannibalistic act of criminality between the government of the Gambia and the Gambia police force. Nobody can change that mentality because that is very evident in all the narrations that we've heard thus far. Okay. Nin tonya beje Momin ko you know nyimmi mo fakete you know ay bun kido min nan tan kido to mo kido mabo na boss la ko ngambo mabo kana fo moy atol la mo hajile bi je fatolo be mabo lal to fo la moy ila boss tan den kido ida tan den kido yo tombo andu aliya moy la ko mo fala keta. It becomes your responsibility to actually bring this gun out and then to inform the authorities as soon as possible. Why didn't you do that? According to the cops, that you actually hide the gun for 10 days, and that is why they could not do a DNA on it. And the same police used you as their, you know, witness in court. The same police who should have incarcerated you for hiding this evidence. Nim police olko bi itolia integrity la soto. Moma neka fintika kumo dolo fo kartu mo police ol tijino fo moy ko la dum alla diaji min sida telekono ako mole ko ate useno boja na phone le track, you know, ate, you know, code sol use until an unknown person was giving to him in Casamas, which is a blatant lie. This is, you know, giving false information to the public, lying to the Gambian people, and then that still keeps the integrity of the police. That, what did that lead to? It led to even giving him a new contract. So momim sita telekono I will ya for Gambian ul bay. I will ya sifa bela Gambia, you know, dingokang. I will ya sifa be for Gambia bay alongo kariye wulu. In uniform as the second in command of the Gambia Police Force. This person was never charged with giving false information to the public. I will ya for Sankare fanantara I will ya sata Gambian kolbe. Sankare murun taka ko yemin be fonya yara ko tonya te woro murun aliya wuliya min fonya aliya ta kato lela wuliyam police wol murun te ko tonya Sankare min be fon tolla nga fay wala nyindu kay wuliya min be sada nyimban ko kan tolla nga be fay ko senu abe UDP la court case to imbre kama wuliya kensan ko he has co-conspirators ani min benta jame ngata be wuliya kensan ko rebelo lo mate so kontol min na boda sata kilal sa wuliya la mo kan fali mira do monde because wuliya dol bi jol bu katam ni ko moy ko rebelo lo ngata ni mol mi wuluta ni wuluta ini kulura sata kili wol nya balle balon kan kale kam foto nyante wuliya ken sangolo. What exactly was the essence? Bara ni nata jibe ni IGP kilo nga politician mo ya ka fa ko etele tantanjalo lo komandi nye yo musu ka fo le bendi nye, you know, e ko en na mbawo sayo kay iben na ka fo lo ko ni be ku kili wala ka homo le ko police ol manya na fen ko imanya na politique ko fala. A conflicted idiot like that guy ose boli biya ka homo le ko, you know, nyem mo nen na mi yalon ko dalta mo nen wala ko that person apologize, and that is goodwill to which people? To the people he insulted? That is goodwill? To just say okay mo nen pare da, you know, nge bana en fotilo e boy nen pare da nga fo ko, you know, sorry, and that is goodwill. Ito mo kino wala volta jay ko ita sonna moy mo na nying banko kanjang ita mo la mo na ita la mo haji sum kande na boto emela do ko long emela do ko no imam fenno ye kenyum palaso simply because you are just, you know, a brother-in-law to the president, but you are the most incompetent person. Ko tu manol min ko lu ta ko ke mo le nyum palaso do na manke batare ati mo la banko kal ko mo to fala. But still keeping it on who really killed the cops. Now nim police olo atoluko this guy me Gambia tundo beneng amen fenna for batteria in Timbalia amonta oka ka fole ko albeta, you know, malong you'll be born into ashes or whatever that was. That is a threat. And secondly, it's basically somebody insulted a whole society, came back and gave them a threat again, and then if the IGP comes out to downplay that and make it look like it was just unnecessary. But was so necessary that you could keep them. Okay, anybody who is from the opposition, ye kuma fama sakunda mi mandieto le be mutala araj malungo wularo ye mutaje fo tenel lungo ye tilimbali ani parete te fay poto kono wole to la justice wolom police la tilimoti Gambia meta fola le ko Gambia police le kuriata dunia police le be tilimbaliata criminaliata e bandiyata be drog wafol ye mira tapale ya la Gambia police ka nyaton kayala kado nim police se sino ye wulia double double ka wulia sifa be fabricate against Useno Bojang. What can these people do? Because when I think about the whole case, when the police said Useno Bojang is a rebel, I was like, the Gambia police force has the audacity, the guts. and the effrontery to tell us that this dude we know and grow up with in the community is a rebel, then the police can do anything and everything. And proceeding from there, imagine the police now are being forced by the court to bring every material they pick from this dude's house, which included even his diaries and all that. But before we actually got to the diary, why did the police format Usainu Bojang's phone? Many people will tell you that, the onus of proving a particular case lies on the prosecution. No. The reason why the defense is insisting on opening this phone, we know why we're insisting on that, simply because Usainu Bojang from 8 p.m. to, midnight of that same day when the incident happened was actively on, WhatsApp conversation with the owner of the lodge where he was working and with other people. Now, all the messages Usainu has, conversed with the owner of the lodge from almost 9:28 p.m. all the way to midnight of that day, we got all the screenshots from the lady, the owner of the lodge. Now, the proof from his own phone was to simply not have this lady fly from the UK into the Gambia to actually provide her phone for, the court to consider. The simplest thing would have been get Usainu Bojang's phone, get his WhatsApp, update everything that would have been, in memory of all the conversation he's had on that day, place it before the court, look at it from 8 p.m. all the way to midnight. Who can actually be actively, chatting on WhatsApp, talking about a scammer, talking about, having issues with your white lady and all that. And then at the same time, you are killing police in the most professional and expert way. And this is the dude we know and grow up in the community who has no weapon expertise. So there, that would actually provide evidence to the court that this was what this dude was doing. And then for somebody to be doing what he was doing on this phone and simultaneously killing the cops in that expert fashion is almost impossible. And this is the reason why when Ibu Sow got Usainu Bojang's phone and went through his entire WhatsApp conversation, he realized that honestly this dude was not at this scene. But because it is a cannibalistic act from within, the only thing they could do is to ensure that every possible way of putting it on him, and that is why he had to format the dude's phone to ensure that every traceable evidence is erased. But now, it has already been established in court that the police have tampered with evidence in this case. Now, the persons who actually alleged you of a particular crime, who have the honors to come out and prove your guilt beyond reasonable doubt, turn around to be taking, evidences from your own phone and deleting and tampering with them. These folks should go to jail, bro. These officers should go to jail. Because these are the criminals in uniform. But I wouldn't say that is primarily or solely done by Ibu Sow, because Ibu Sow works under command. And his commander here would be the Commissioner of Anti-Crime. And the Commissioner of Anti-Crime basically works with under, let's say the DIG. And it was the DIG who told us that there was a heavy telephone traffic in this boy's phone. Now, where there was a heavy telephone traffic in the boy's phone, the phone becomes a primary source of evidence. Now, why would the police use their own primary source of evidence and delete and, of course, erase everything in that phone and reset the phone that nothing is traceable in the phone? No. Today is Usainu Bojang, tomorrow might be a family member, because what is evident is that the police and the criminal justice system of the Gambia is completely toxic, disgusting, and it is headed by criminals themselves. Those who bear the honors of, making sure there is justice in our country are the ones who are criminally liable for most of the injustices in our country. But let's even put all of that aside and think a little bit beyond what they told us. If the United Democratic Party was complaining about, the police beating its militants, and the militant they were beating was the same person when she left the UDP to join, NPP, said that the IGP actually gave her, a group of women militants as well as drummers to cheer her up as she is joining the NPP. And it's the same IGP that told us that the police should not be involving themselves in political activities. This IGP who was crisscrossing, the house of Hussein Dabo before they actually put him in that place. Because at some point we will actually speak out. And then the last thing I would ever want to get to is the Minister of Justice. I don't want to get into personalities but if we get to that level, we will get there. You remember those days when you used to work in that chamber somewhere around, back out traffic lights before you became minister, and you've had cases you had to go to Bassett to deal with some people that used to work in that environment. Luñ xam bari na. Push to a point to talk. The criminal justice system of the Gambia has been this disgusting for the longest time, and things have to change. Nina Rajibe, before this current justice minister, when Tambedu was there, this is a person in the NIA 9's case. The Ministry of Justice has the capacity to prosecute those folks. But what did he do? They will come and lie to the Gambians that, oh yeah, we got international appointment, we left our jobs to come and work for the Gambia, we are sacrificing for the country. Abe Wulia is complete garbage and bullshit. These folks never got any respectable international appointment. They used the Gambia to get some of those jobs and quit Gambia's jobs to go and run to those international appointments. Because more important than international appointment, when other Gambia was sacrificed, Canada Gambia. But the wale Gambia la do ko la ta pour que fa catapult to that position of getting an international appointment job and resign from Gambia government job to run to that international appointment. I'm not call about an international appointment. But these are the mafias that run the country. And on top of it, the NIA 9 case, it was very evident that the Ministry of Justice has the capacity to run that case. But what did he do? He deliberately and selfishly took the case out of the Ministry of Justice, gave it to his own brother to actually, and be paying him a hell lot of money from the coffers of the government, when the government has its own, staff at the Ministry of Justice who could handle the case, but then outsource the case to his own brother, and his own brother turn around. Imagine people you are prosecuting. He turned around and then trying to, do all those nonsense acts to the wife of one Yankuba Baji, to a point that the lady had to record him. You see these mafias? This has always been the criminal justice system in the Gambia. Manipulators and criminals everywhere. Imagine, when I look at these little boys you went to university with jumping that, we respect lawyers, we respect your profession, but some of you are the most disgusting people in our societies, because where there is no justice, you cannot talk about peace and tranquility. And this is where the police have got us to, because you cannot incarcerate this dude for 1.5 years without a just system in there. And you know that everything you had said against the dude were just mere fabrications and lies. For Sankare, I don't know why you are in India. Some claim you went for a PhD. Others said you went for treatment. Whatever it is, atolte Cairo jala. Kon ngeen xamne yalla du ngay woto ya alsalon ko alamanke kelenti. Wandi dingol atoli yolo fa batare yakono. Atole muru woto ale wuliya la modo kam batare yakono. Atol ka atole si Gambia, atol you live large. That is what you people think. Wala batol damale. Imagine police wala maluta Gambian wala mal horoma mol mal bunya, because you people lost your dignity, you lost respect. You think everything is about politics? DIG so moneta fini no blado FM phone. It is a FM phone Gambian people. You are so shameful to actually associate with. So it's from that, 2016. I think the strength of this new regime, or what people so-called refer to as New Gambia, was in its vagueness. It was so vague that it was just criminals coming together and then doing all kind of nonsense. I heard somebody saying about this Pintanjai's case, I don't know whether, you can be dismissed and then maybe you will never come back to the force even if there are regime change. What are you? Police almost 10 years. Regime manfali mamuru police be batare alaje. Wala ka wuli ka ko house in bojana kay mol fight do ma mo falate jawe gamen wala fajang in the jungle of ngol fo jungle muronte yo fatol ko Molka nyaka sa lalka mena ko atol nyamenda multi. DIG Sow said Usainu Bojang has heavy telephone traffic. Commissioner Sow took the phone and gave it to Detective Ibu Sow. Detective Ibu Sow went through the phone and realized that this dude did not do this particular crime, and he decided to format the phone. You can see the chain of command. You can see the line of actions. But it was this Commissioner Sow who came to court and said in the vehicle, Usainu Bojang told him that, yeah, he did the act. But when he was telling him there was no other person. But when Usainu Bojang was being, taken from custody where he was detained in Senegal upon Mama's report, when he was handed over to the Gambia police, he was not handed over to only this, Commissioner Sow. So Commissioner Sow would have been with other people there. How come Usainu confessed to him and then there were no other people except just him in the vehicle? Kon police is case bini from top to bottom low and fa wax yep ay dul kese la amul dara lu ci nekk dega. But now that we want to ask the question, why will the police lie when the police have no hand in the case? Money. There were 2 people killed in Malmö for Faratolombang, that little girl that was going to St. Peter's High School, and either the brother or a cousin were killed in their house in the most gruesome manner. But the police never came out and then put it on somebody and then gave all lies. How many other people were killed in the Gambia? The police never came out to say that we are giving a 1 million bounty. So this case was very special that the police had to give a 1 million bounty. But it is in this same case that the police turned around and told us that this boy actually was at the UDP court case in Banjul, and he works in Brikama Area Council. Now, when you analyze that entire script the government told us at the beginning, that will tell you that this was a preconceived script that was prepared in response to UDP's complaint about Pate Jallo and, Babu Jeng. Because mo jalle fata Gambia police on nama foko ni mo nyimo fala je mbe 1 million o diler. Pa bir ngo mimbe complain ka yemin dingo mo taxi driver boy asamba jana itata fafanya jawla. And the boy ran and then they caught him somewhere either in Senegal or whatever. The police turned around and said this boy escaped. Look, we respect young folks who are doing their best to keep the image of this institution. But there is no way you can keep the image of this disgusting institution based on terrible leadership you have at the moment. And then trying to force Binta to delete her post. Now, let me tell you one thing. Niman police will tamanyalon, you can easily fall liable to some of their tactics. You got to really be very open-minded to understand how these people can be manipulative in every way possible. Now, imagine Binta had wrote what she feels. If I was a cop, I wouldn't get into any whatever, I would just stay on my lane and just watch whatever. But she spoke her mind, and you will realize that if you go back and read what Binta wrote, you read what the police wrote when they actually, questioned this Babukar Bahum of a guy. Some of the wordings that Binta used in her statement are the words that the police repeated again. That what he did could actually, have an impact on the social cohesion of society and the greater peace of all. And this is exactly what Binta wrote. So if Binta wrote that, and that equates to ethical issues within the police force, but how about a politician alleging that the IGP le Tantanjalo Kumandai? Is that ethical for a police officer, let alone the IGP, to do? Is it ethical that the DIG could sit on TV and lie against one of our brothers? That he is a rebel, he was actually at the UDP court case, he works in Brikama Area Council, Obe na turn around to be Obe mo fanialed, and then you people want to tell us that, oh yeah, preliminary investigation, alman tonya faliye wulu. If you want to bring hell to our household, bring it. But we will not freeze because you people lied. And we will, you will be accountable to this case. There is no way that you can actually be, spared in this case, because you people, after all your lies and all your fabrication and your initial script that was intended to frame the United Democratic Party, it's evident that the police and the Gambia government knew something about the killing of the cops. Minibal support la yal support wo faniyakang, minibal support la sonda tonyala son tonyala, mini falam balanta wodal salon kala balanta tonyala. Tonya buge fula. You might support NPP today. It might be your own household tomorrow. I don't really get into all this partisan politics here and there, but I will not also when you go manta karamoro pur kanajan kenya ma told you ought to be those people who just are after their own personal interest. It's not about that. If it is about personal interest, we could sit over here and don't mind our business. But the basic essence of getting an education and getting a brain in the world, like being able to think for yourself, you have 2 eyes, you have 2 ears, you have just 1 mouth, because you got to listen twice more than you would talk. So we try to observe and listen and, of course, analyze what you people tell us. I don't fabricate anything. We're only analyzing what you told us. You told us the dude is a rebel. Me, Alonko, I know because this dude and I are homies from the hood. So when was he a rebel? That's a lie. You told us the dude works in Brikama Area Council. That's a lie because he never worked in any government institution whatsoever. You told us he was the dude in Hoodie at the UDP court case. It's a lie. So why did the government feel the need to lie? That becomes the burden of the question. Why did the government feel the need to lie? To a point that you actually format the boy's phone? Why would you format his phone if you know you're quite innocent in everything? Because this phone should have actually served as a principal, evidence for the state. On top of it, atoli nyimboyo mutamundalilla kang simply because mama la audio la finita kavo ko atele mo mutami yalon ko wole mo fake. Why? Now look at how this happened. There is a situation that happened in the Gambia. 2 cops got killed. This dude has his own issue going on at the same time. All of a sudden, he was looking for a Marabou to help him with his situation. While looking for a Marabou to help with his situation, Mama knew about the killing of the cops. He saw a vulnerable situation and a vulnerable person who looks to be not very okay at the time. She connected the dots and fabricated a script around it and then alleged the boy to be the killer of the police. And then if you listen to Mama's audio from opening to the end, you realize that while this dude is talking about Natubabu, Mama is busy saying, hey, tele police alpha, yalo nalia kenying Adam Baro mina, emunake Adam Barola. Mo emunake Adam Baro, I'm on a family. If we are going to be honest here, I'm not Gambian na famunel. I'm na famunel. Na manka ka fonga na fa because momin na president already 100 million saba for your account. Within 5 years you have 200 million in your account. Where did you get it if not for corruption? Being president, you can get 200 million within 5 years. But yala tambira wala. Algo molto ofala. Ada may dabe funding wal ni jakal dun na jang kuno ibe $5 plastic or mutala. Fanka mala kama wanyam. And within just 5 years before you actually bring in, your this second term, when you went to the IEC, you had over 200 million. From where? Arambaro Yajame's salary was basically 175,000. Within this short period, his salary went almost 500,000. What nonsense is that? When the ordinary Gambian civil servant, many current ita mahaling college ita manta, ita han high school ko kuno ita moso. Ita gave jo 500,000 the more many they are more productive in the Gambian society than you would ever be in your entire lifetime. You're paying yourself $500,000 you call your wife bena 5,000 me yalon ko anu Marabou fula ko rekino atasan nano. Arba mo kini wala kamuri ko kire man sa kundala fasa ko stanji tamankanya ko ide sanji luldo la faje. Do bi ni mira Gambia fa mala ko le kamera la kontrol kamera danko le ben feño la instead of mole findi atandila ko ngo sanje tanga kanya ndale mimbe ke lolo be ke be mbela fala baleta sila jam atole police ol fa almanda wala albe tapole anen tilimbali asifa betili na molla Gambia. At the end of the day, some of you will be clouded with your negativity against a set of people. You think that is basically why you all got to just hate what set of society simply because you have one issue or another, and then you got to continue to support this criminal, disgusting regime that actually killed the cops and turn around to make it look like the dude who knows nothing about it is the one that killed the cops. No. This government is actually filled with, this is a blood-tasty government that actually people knew very well. It had a Gambia, every corner of people knew that this government is responsible for the killing of the cops. There is nothing you people can hide about that because Allah own story, because if you got a bunch of idiots and you think they can actually run a government, they just do stupid things. At the end of the day, they cage themselves because how could you even come out with a script that you people came out with? Police you will do every possible thing to come to the positive light of the public. You cannot make your image. Your image is tainted. Your image is tainted simply because aliye mimbeke wala nintonya manta. So constantly coming out to the public is just, you are trying to make your image. You cannot make your image. Luo lungala findita woso mumbe findita atol daman diantolti, alman fellonti, alman dunia kalamtandi. So alkana mira watol dam alabe police. Albe tonya ala tamandila. Because you people have lost your integrity completely. Now, going forward, what I also do not understand from the court is, why do you need an expert to come and actually help log into that Gmail or whatever Google account? Ngo. Me usienu la telefono format. I password kuto kala. Abe police le hana forbide. Abedokuala police, that is Ibuso. Ibuso was the detective in this case. Amandanka Abedokuala police. He actually testified in this case as a witness for the state. He is the person who actually formatted this boy's phone. So the police actually tampered with evidence. Why did the court not call the police to come and, open the phone? Why do you need an independent, mobile technician to come and open the phone? Now, the person who was not going to open the phone, what he's going to do is, because he put a new password to the phone that Hussein could not open, they will format the phone and restart it again, and then see if he can actually log into his Google account. Now, people ask the question, the onus of proving this particular case depends on the state. Why do you actually want to focus on the phone? Because in the phone, we have everything in there that this dude could actually, open and prove that he was not anywhere close to that site. So, Femi, either Yaya Jammeh gave us freedom or he did not give us freedom. When Yaya Jammeh was president, I was still a little boy going to school. And the only time I became conscious of politics was towards 2013, 14. And there was a time Yahya Jammeh said Gambia was an Islamic state and he was getting too ethnicist and insulting people. When I have something to say, I say it. Just like Yahya Jammeh was killing people, this government is solely responsible for the killing of the cops. You cannot stop that either. The government of the Gambia is criminally liable for the killing of the cops. You hate to hear that. Go and hold an electric transmitter. Yahya Jammeh is as wicked as, any other person that actually killed the cops. Do you understand that? Or do you think I actually support Jammeh, whatever? I don't care. I only started voting not even too long ago. Do I even care about that? What is the difference between Barrow and you tell us that, this government did not give anybody freedom. Gambians gave themselves freedom. It's not a government that gave anybody freedom. If you want to know the government did not give people freedom, take economic out just tomorrow and you would see. So, man, my point is not about how they rule the Gambia. Do some business. It's really not my business. I'm not affected by anything that is happening in the Gambia. If not the fact that the dude I know and I grew up with, and it's very clear that he's not a rebel, he did not kill any cop, I will say that. I will not shy away from that. And some of you who think that, people really care about, you can write whatever you want to write on your wall every day, support this regime as you want. That is very simple, because the fact of the matter is that supporting a regime is your freedom, is your liberty to do so. Why Gambia lufa neka mulke Dakar minande bola fola. When you hear somebody with a surname Mandinka, Mandinka surname, you think, oh, they're UDP. Ku am surname Jola rek rebel la. And that is why you people say Hussein Bojang is a rebel. Right? NPP is the most disgusting political entity in the Gambia as it stands, because they feed on divide and rule. And these are the people who can criminally do anything and everything just to stay in power. And that is how self-perpetuation actually, works. Because Barrow, so we say, yo, some buge wa Yahya Jammeh fi. Dembala Barrow joke fi ni he's going to form a coalition with Yahya Jammeh's party. Barrow. In my wildest dream, I will never think of Barrow forming a coalition with Yahya Jammeh's party. Alolo mota Jammeh bum khalate mo neki mbam la. Waxuma ko de Yahya Jammeh moko wax. kon foog ñu waxante dëgga dëkk bi pour ñu doxal ko foog ñu waxante dëgga nguri Adama Barrow lu tax ñu wax ñu ne Ousainou Bojang mooy soloon hoodie bi at UDP's court case when we realize that that is not true kon loolu fan la jógee nguri Adama Barrow moo jóg ñu ne Ousainou Bojang works in Brikama Area Council why nguri Adama Barrow moo ñu ne boy bi dañ ko dafa fekk co-conspirators in a mosque and they provided him the escape vehicle into the thick forest of Casamance just for him to be met in a garage talking about a white person and completely disturbed mentally. And then yen audio bu tax ngeen arrest boy bi ni was Mama's audio and it's the same audio you people came to court, the DPP saying that the audio is lost, Mama saying the audio is lost. The audio is right with me here. Why did the government feel the need to hide everything, including formatting the boys' phones? Right? No, the case could not be dropped at the no case to answer. It's not, the judge is not dumb. And, some of my people, like, I remember speaking to Ousainu's big brother, and I was like, just before the no case to answer, judgment, I was like, you know what? We will proceed into the case, and I prefer we proceed into the case. Because my whole interest is to prove beyond reasonable doubt that the government is responsible for the killing of the cops. Because dropping it at the no case to answer would kind of hide a lot of things about the government, which includes why they formatted the boys' phones, which includes the sue will not fit him in court because the sue belongs to the brother that I'm talking about right now, which includes the state coming out to say the audio is lost. Now, the no case to answer, we very well know that these folks were beating this dude, doing everything possible. The person that he alleged to have given him the coffee is the same person who formatted his phones. So it was necessary, upon the court establishing that there are 4 key elements they wanted Ousainou to establish in the case. That means, where was he on that night, which we can prove. Simple. 2, what did he tell Mama? It is Mama who had the honors to come and provide the evidence of what Ousainou told her, which she refused to do and deliberately lied to the court that the audio is lost. We will provide the audio to the court. 3rd, what did he tell, Commissioner Sow in the car? But was Commissioner Sow alone in the car when Ousainou was arrested in Casamance? How comes Commissioner said, Atele Afonye? Now, that part I cannot establish. Can you now tell me, in your independent intellectual capacity, that you will put Ousainou in jail or live imprisonment simply because Ousainou would say, I did not tell him anything that he said, but Commissioner Sow would say, yeah, but he is the one who told me. Now, I didn't follow yellow, where is the evidence? No. But Kabira ka fwe ko mo ko nita mo min ko nita da mamanta re yiti ni mini bije wala sa sediaro ke no wala o manke. So what of fania man tambi wala andu mi ala telefono format ko do ko ke tela koto. The one who served as an independent witness entered anti-crime at midnight, but he entered through the back gate. And you wanted Degana Gambia can you anti-crime a police establishment, and then you enter the anti-crime through the back gate. Lola dafa possible. Because when you are entering anti-crime force, you need to be processed. You need to sign. You need to be, registered that you entered anti-crime. But let's be honest here. Who enters anti-crime at midnight? Is that part of work hours? Why was this person at anti-crime, at midnight? If he has a police case about a vehicle, why didn't they go to the police station? Are cases reported to anti-crime, at their headquarters? Is that a police station where cases are registered? But they degarek mo ñor. Banyu mangen support the regime, banyu mangen support Barrow, whatever. But on this case, man, I had no issues with the regime, honestly. I had no issues with the regime, but I will not watch the regime come to my community and lie against somebody I know and I grow up with. And if we all want to keep quiet over that, that will be the maximum level of, betrayal to society and to the community that made us who we are today. To the brotherhood that we grow up seeing everybody doing their own thing. The folks you see ngene nana tayo nga gis nguur gi diko fenal yo nga to ngane no adu suma business mangi to man mangi cool. And you still have a conscience to live with in a society like that. No. Left to us, we had no business to talk about the government of the Gambia and what they do and what they do not do, because it is not our business. Ayo, fo ni molga manu boro sang kema fulala, fondo liada malaka sang kema fulala. Everybody just has a single vote. The last time you said only the voters will decide if Barrow remains there. Probably you did not know that. Even in the last election, I voted. Maybe you don't, but I do. I vote in every possible election in the Gambia. Or you want me to show you my voters card? I voted Barrow my day. Not anymore. Because if Barrow's regime could lie against a homie like that, deliberately, which now it's very clear to everyone, that is the criminal justice system where people can just criminally connive and lie against other people and turn around and try to make it look like, oh, they committed the particular crime. Femi, did not even step foot at that place. And the funny thing would be, you come to court and you bring in a suit, they tell the dude to test the suit. If they could arrest the boy's brother, how about the driver that said, oh, they spoke in Jola until they actually got to the killing of the cops? They spoke in a language I understood. I still drove them to safety. Isn't that person liable? How about the person who said that, oh, I picked the gun on the day of the incident, but I hid it. I kept it until after 10 days was when actually the police got it. Is that person not liable for concealment? But they direct la ñoy wax. If you are interested in the truth, you will come out and tell the government you people knew something about the killing of the cops. And we cannot normalize killing police officers. And that is why you cannot expect the souls of innocent people to rest whose only crime was to go and serve their nation to the best of their ability just to be killed in the line of duty. And they are not killed for doing anything simply because one has a similar name to the other who actually the UDP was complaining about. Because it's just a coincidence that the UDP was complaining about Pate Jallo and another Pate Jallo is killed. On top of it, the government came out with a fabricated script to say that this person who killed the cops was at the UDP court case where Pate Jallo was being told that he's actually doing excesses to their party militant, that he was the guy in hoodie, that he works in Brikama area control. All of those things cannot be a coincidence. It is a preconceived master plan by the regime to kill and then to put it on the UDP in order to ban the political establishment. Because hamna the UDP more than job, I problem you. But oppositions must exist. They must continue to exist. I might support or not support the UDP. That is my individual choice. But whereas we know there is an injustice meted on any Gambian, irrespective of the political divide you belong to, people will have the guts to tell the truth because that is our country. And that is the common denominator we all share. Aside that anybody can go and do whatever shit, nobody cares about it. But that which belongs to all of us and you want to actually do it in a way that we think is not right, we will speak about it. And nobody can stop that. Even if hell freezes over. Probably hell will not freeze. If it burns over to earth, we don't care. That's the fact. Apart DIG, Bintanjai is going to be subjected to disciplinary whatever because of the police integrity. Police dafa am integrity before this. Yo IG bu mune wax ne man ma ote sabarkat yi women group pour ñu gunge Ramo Sabally to office of the president so that I'm now joining the NPP. What is more political than that? Than just a little rat coming out to insult an entire region and its people, and then you want people who are from there. Look, I am from Bruford before becoming whatever I had to become. Tell that Bahum guy to go and insult my community. I don't go model ke filigil. Guys, I read all of Jaffa all neck. You are from a people, and look, when you are born, you come to this earth with nothing. It's people that sat down, gave you a name, and then bring you to this earth. When you die, it's the people that are going to carry you and go and bury you. And those people are your community. Those are the people you belong to. Those are the people who know who you are, who basically form the person you become. Nothing you can become on this earth that is more important than who you are and where you come from. Ko xamul fu mu jógee rek moo dul xam fu muy dem. Kon doo toog nga ne ma tey police la da ngay saaga sama askan nga ne ma noppi si ngir police la. Lan mooy police? Su ma dee naa police ñoo may suul. Su ma amee ngénte police yi ñoo fay ñoo toog. Nit loo doon loolu la nga doon. If you have like, ethical issues that I can understand, the police could just mind their business. But is the IGP minding his business? IGP bu doon jaabante këri daabo mel ni menentaan xanaa kooku teel a fàtte lool. This IGP we are talking about. The same IGP moo fi nekk di naan ne man maa jëlal kii ay sabarikat ay lu kenn xamul loolu yëpp people have it on video. So kooku lan la mën a wax about integrity. Kooku député ya moo fi toog mu fenal doomi jàmbur ba kenn mënut a xam lan la. Kooku dina Gambia police force can talk about integrity. Do they have any integrity left in them? That you can even turn around and tell us that what this insulter dude did was like, just, unnecessary. And you want to downplay that and make it look like, oh, his apology is a goodwill. Goodwill to who? How do you call them? Borafi, simply because they said one thing or another. When is the opposition, you actually get them on a Friday evening and then you keep them till Monday and then torohal then come num len yen police no ngeen di doxale. Why police bu mëna fenal ñi ñoo xamantene they kill their own men up till they cannot get justice for its own men until the citizenry have to start to suspect that the police might have killed its own men. What can you tell the people? It's not the police responsibility to actually say, oh, this person insulted this person, so we are going to solve it. No. This boy's case is very special because askan la saga. That could come benanit la saga. An entire, society is what you insulted. That could actually lead to tensions in the country. So endolen oko go bena 5 minutes. Maybe it's a bolen ko ngana ko nya kasila. Maybe fangalin and dol fon la faje fon. We are talking about this particular case. And ibuka nafiko la nafiki along for nyunkusi falkeda. You see, one thing about some people, what I believe in is what I believe in. I don't care if it is a political whatever. Either it's UDP or NPP or what. If I have an opinion about something, I say it. Kusinit bugare gibe min foleta o foje. But I'm nafiki ala bulalanga tonyafo. I saw some people telling me, yeah, but this case is before the court. You don't need to talk about it. Am I a party to the case? Not a case before the court that people been talking about in this country. I'll be more before the court and shouldn't be talked about. Because you know that the political establishment you support is very much liable and is possibly going to be the perpetrator of this heinous crime. Oh, then it's in court. Nobody's got to talk about it. I like the fact that the judge is taking his time and not quickly just wrapping up this case to actually let it die down. And then we said we are going to keep quiet to allow this because within a short period case be on this one imagine the entire prosecution of the Gambia police force, the one leading it. This is a lawyer. When he speaks, you just see garbage in, garbage out. Our hotline, police who told you that nobody calls 911 here to insult them. But do insults stain on people's body? Because at the end of the day, it's your responsibility to maintain, stability in that country, irrespective of whatever insult you receive. You cannot even have a 24 hours functional, call center. And one for some police again. Politic board digarengen duga si di param isolen parengen nyeneni. No, you are the ones doing politics. When you are ngen nega fili di aga tantan jalol kumande modoli. Adola police ya bold. IGP, DIG, Pate Jallo, Commissioner Sow. Atondi, there's other detective Ibu Sow. You all criminally connived in this case because you know it. When I say IGP, I don't mean IGP as in the person there at the moment. I'm talking about the office as in whoever occupied it before you, because when you came, you already meant that this killing of the cops was already done. And then the travel of Ablai Sanyang to China at the time was not a coincidence. All of these things were like a master plan. Because when you look, if you are into analyzing documents and you understand how things work, you would understand that all of these things from top to bottom, it looks like a fabricated script that was perfected to actually suit a particular purpose. And the entire purpose was, how do we ban this political establishment? You failed in the quest. When you realize that you failed in that quest, you turn around and want to put it on the dude. And now you realize that everything you try to put on this dude has failed because ñun mi dëkk ak moom ñun mi xamante ak moom ñun mi dem school ak moom ba tey Akon yun ham nañ ne bu dee boy bi rebel lan mu kenn du fi ñëw naan ne ko you are trying to defend a rebel. I know Sanjay Gomez personally. This is a kid who grew up in Kitty not long ago. Ndoyo Hamantane back then at the Gambia College, you see them come to study. So if somebody killed that dude, and I have the guts and I don't have the empathy and the sympathy to actually, sympathize with that person, or to come out and defend the murderer, what kind of conscience would I have? But I equally know that to get justice is within that system that thinks that they are giving justice because they are the manipulators and the fabricators of the entire script, and they are potential perpetrators of this heinous crime. And these young folks deserve justice, and the real justice, and not just to come and frame somebody and then you atoli mo fall from galmanda wala le murun ko ngale wuli ala modo kan ko denke. This is what you people do to young people in the Gambia, and then you turn around and say, oh, young people are the cream of society because we the young people are not thinking. So I hope that we actually do the right thing. To cut it short there, the police formatted Husseina's phone. And why we are insisting on getting these phones and the details on his WhatsApp is to prove beyond reasonable doubt what he was doing on that night. Whereas we are unable to actually open this phone to actually recover all the WhatsApp conversations, I hope the lady in the UK is able to present her phone to the court to prove beyond reasonable doubt that I was having this conversation with this dude from 8 to 12 p.m., 12 in the night. How comes the same person who is actively on WhatsApp talking about problems and other things can still be at the same, simultaneously be killing cops in that expert fashion? Yet the people who witnessed it, or the vehicle that was at the center of the killing, belongs to a police officer who has a gun, but was never arrested and was never actually, never appeared before any criminal, investigation panel. On top of it, the 3 military officers that said they were chasing after this gunman said he was shooting at them, but then it was your ballistic examiner that said only three bullets came from the gun. How is that even possible? And then you look at the trend of the persons involved, it's just the same set of people. Fold on Malmö police. But these are the people who can criminally connive to actually give you the solutions to what exactly the regime desires. And that's why they will get promotion and they will get those big ranks. That used to be the case with the former regime. You see all those, people who were killing our people with, running soldiers with big ranks. You can do it to other communities, but some of us, as long as it's our community, we will defend that community to death, because this is basically the community that made us everything that we could ever imagine. Being born in that community and being raised within the fringes of, Nyafalen and those other areas, we will defend the hood to death, because we will not watch you lie against our community members and you expect us to be quiet about it. We won't be silent about it. We will continue to speak up, and then we will expose the regime. And now it's so good that every Gambian understood that the police are quite culpable. And this is not a force to be trusted. These are people who have lost the moral integrity to police our society, because they are not policing society. They are criminals. Because nim alman ke criminal olti dumale fanka wulika wulia bad dada eka laira citizen oka wonyama. Atol min nyantan tol protect la atol la kamurun ka wulia double double ko wolan tol kan fokan soronga ka. Anda atol la nyantan tol tankala. Atol sa dumale tankano. And you are the same people that come from Ngo. Police ol alman ke nyon tangolti. You are just ordinary human beings like you and I. You come from homes, and then from homes is where you actually wear this uniform to go to work. That is the only difference. And you are expected to be disciplined, to be honest, and of course serve your nation to the best of your ability. Well, I told you criminally connive. I told me that criminal or I told the form of criminal. I'll come water over. I give a policeman and a politician or itam tantanjala commandala politician or itam dandy. And then people will tell you, when you see that only maluda. Imam Fotasur, and there is no way they can counter anything you are saying. They say, no, it's before the court. Let's allow the court to do its job. We will allow the courts to do their job, but we will equally tell you that the dude we know and grew up with is not a rebel. And we will analyze all the lies you've been telling the court and you've been telling the Gambian people prior up till date. Because time he was in detention, he cannot speak for himself. And we had to dispel every lie you people had to say. And now that we are hearing from him, Gambians are understanding. And then, when there was a case about, a rape case over there, but this other one, you will not hear anybody talk about these things. And these are the people in Pered and Gavamoleko, ko jime ko woli ale amara kala ala ka ke wala nyam hey tonya la ga bango samba tonya ni mo man traje tonya tano mimbe kala wala be kala bara tonya la be sabatila so Gambia man sakundale police will fa because ni man police will fight will ya for la mole because imam kumil long fem imam felonje why would you lie to the people so you know something about it samato man kungala algo audio filter ali ala telephone format alkato le kodo la fon recover from the person because he was paid to kill none of that money was actually brought to court can the court now ask you about the money you said you recovered from the person or benyo wulia alko you cannot conduct any DNA on the test on the gun why are you people hiding every potential traceable evidence ning ayatara ko atol tonyala batol bul alla witness will be their potential criminals because momin ko fola nga moy han will be nga drive to the border that person is already a criminal nim momin ko ndanga kido jele nga mabo for 10 days or passing for is a criminal for concealment alkalto be fola alko molto fola people should just be quiet and watch you people do all the nonsenses in our country Gambia manke police all that and manke NPP that mbe dentamina the common denominator we all share is the Gambia so we must respect each and every one of us. We cannot just be treating people like dogs. You cannot treat Usaino Bojang like a dog. You put him on sanitary confinement, alba abutela, alba kuotilimbalia besifakela. And luckily for the dude, this was a dude very smart from primary school. He knew each and every one of you by name. That is either justice in the right way or another way. Take it as a threat or whatever by Ibuso and all these criminal idiots who were involved in this case. Morone police uniform or bondi wetama mono. Abasing kilomafong. Some of you remove the uniform, come, out of respect for the country and our uniform. Remove the uniform, any mole longa jibem, nanyotembo jibe. Allah batare abe danale. That you people know that. A whole nyampata jalamini alango atol dol mumo falal te jang ay families of junglers you jump here you want to lie against young people that did you no wrong we don't fear anybody ay ragal deguñ fi de ay tapé deguñ fi ñi dañoo xol seen dëkk bi ne na jama sax rek waye yeen bëggu leen jama because yeen ñu bon ngeen you people are so evil and the fact is that as the court proceeds things have been revealed and we will know that the police and the government of the Gambia actually killed the cops for their selfish political interest. So thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. I hope that, we catch up another time. Osman, I'm not ready to fight. Imagine, okay, like you and I sat in the same class from way back. Usman le police Usman mo rebelol. Moro, mambala niko Usman le police olfad. But Usman mo rebelol do mulial. On top of it, we later realized that everything this folks said was just a fabricated script. They want to forcefully put it on the dude. I'm gonna leave mom deka bi yep xam nañ ne dañoy fen ay fen kat lañ. Sol uniforme Gambia nga dem tok ci télé bi di fen. Yow sa moromi dom sa nga koy fenal. Bu dé sister mi sa jabar la won di nga nangu nit mu def ko non. Wala bu dé yow boy bo wunu na saraka la di nga nangu nit mu def ko non. Ay ñi ñu bon. Soxor ba buga dé. NPP fang ko brufud fang ni I don't even know ni baro fang ala fa bo mo la banko kan ale kaito lo morale afa who killed the cops mo jawol these people man better nyem mo man better let people not see them as look man sami yalon ko be la mo protect fe de ke la mo dundi problème ko no pour ita fang e problème mo min fang cause o man ke man sa ken la demand ani rebelo le fang e fisa man sa ko nda si fa fang mo la ko do batara tinyala ko adiara le nyami algo mo do fola. Anyway, I'm gonna catch you another time, Polisol, so I don't know the younger ones, we respect you, we love you, we appreciate you, we are all family, but Allah